In the previous class, we have discussed various cloud characteristics and also we have discussed about cloud adoption. Now we will see cloud computing reference architecture. So this diagram represents the conceptual reference model. So in this diagram, the main component is the cloud stack. Okay, this cloud stack, which you can see here, this cloud stack is present within this cloud provider. So this cloud provider is mainly responsible for the creation of this cloud stack, and also the cloud provider is responsible for the maintenance of this cloud stack. Okay, within this cloud provider, there are various entities. There is a cloud service management. So if we to maintain this cloud stack, so the cloud provider is providing a various cloud services, and all those services are also managed by the cloud provider. So the various services that are provided are business support, provisioning, portability. So what is this business support? Cloud is providing a various services. Okay, by using all those services, a business organization can actually do their business work without worrying the underlying IT infrastructure. Again, what is this provisioning? Provisioning means setting up of a service for a customer. So again, we have a one more component, security and again privacy. So you can see there are various actors involved in this reference model. What are the various actors involved in this reference model? Cloud consumer, cloud auditor, cloud provider, cloud carrier, cloud broker. So now let us look into the definitions of these actors. So first we will see what is actor. Okay, each actor is an entity or a person or an organization that participates in a transaction or in a business transaction to perform a task or to perform any specific task. So now the various definitions of these actors are given here. So first is the cloud consumer. What is cloud consumer? Cloud consumer is a person or an organization or an entity which maintains a business relationship with cloud provider. Okay, whenever a cloud consumer wants any specific service, a consumer can actually request for a particular service uh, to the with the cloud provider, and the once a particular service is offered by the provider, a consumer can actually use that particular service. And the next actor here is the cloud provider. Okay, cloud provider, it is an entity or a person or an organization which is responsible for making all the services available to the interested parties or to the interested cloud consumers. And here we have a cloud auditor. So the one major concern for every cloud consumer is whether my data is secure. So if a consumer asks the same question to any of the providers such as Azure or AWS, the provider will always say, yes, your data is safe and secure. But sometimes a consumer will not have confidence in the provider. So in that case, to resolve that issue, a consumer can actually have an independent auditor to audit the consumer's data. So what is the role of this cloud auditor? Means the role of this cloud auditor is to evaluate the correctness of the cloud environment. Okay, cloud provider is providing various services. Okay, this cloud auditor will actually evaluate all those services. Okay, correctness of all those services. So here it is written, an entity, cloud auditor, it is an entity used for the systematic evaluation of a cloud system or a cloud environment. And here this cloud auditor will also measure, okay, how well a particular service is being performed, and also whether a quality service is being offered by the provider. So all those things will be taken care by this cloud auditor. And here in this diagram you can see there are various cloud auditor. Okay, what are the various cloud auditors? Security audit, privacy impact audit, performance audit. And here, what is the role of security audit? The role of security audit is to evaluate the cloud security. What is the role of privacy impact audit. The role of privacy impact audit is to evaluate the cloud privacy. And again, we have a performance audit, which is used to evaluate the entire cloud performance. So in the next entity here, there is a cloud broker. So what is a broker? Broker is an entity which mediates between two communicating parties. Okay, here a cloud broker is an entity who negotiates the relationship between provider and a consumer. And cloud broker will also deliver various cloud services to cloud consumer. And the next entity is a cloud carrier. So what is cloud carrier? Cloud carrier will act as an intermediary between provider and a consumer. This cloud carrier will provide the connectivity to both the provider as well as cloud consumer. And also cloud carrier is responsible for transporting various cloud services from provider end to the consumer end. So you can see here for a cloud broker, okay, cloud broker provides a services in three categories. Okay, what are those services? Means the first service that is provided by this cloud broker is a service intermediation. And we know that a cloud provides a various services. Okay, sometimes all the various services may not be present at one location. Okay, all those services are say, located at various geographical location. The main responsibility of cloud broker is to make all the services available to cloud consumer. And also the cloud broker can enhance any service, okay, by adding or by improving or by adding some specific capability to a service. Okay, the improvement can be managing accesses, okay, managing the various accesses to cloud services. Again, identity management, performance reporting, enhanced security. So, and the next service that is being provided by this cloud broker is a service aggregation. The meaning of aggregation is combining, okay, combining various services. Okay, here there is a sentence. Okay, a cloud broker usually combines, okay, combines multiple services into one service, or combines multiple service into one new service and deliver that service to the consumer. So again, the another service that is a service arbitrage. Okay, what is this service arbitrage? It is also a similar to service aggregation, except that the services being aggregated or not fixed. So what is service arbitrage? Means a cloud broker will have a flexibility to choose services from multiple cloud vendors. Okay, instead of choosing a service from one particular vendor, here what a broker will do means he will choose a one similar service from one, okay, same service will be chosen from various vendors, and that particular service will be delivered to the cloud consumer. And here you can see, there is a cloud stack. Okay, in this cloud stack, the first layer is the service layer, which is providing the three services, that is SaaS, PaaS and IaaS. So we have already discussed all these three services. Okay, so now let us see what is this SaaS. Okay, so we know that in case of software as a service, a working application will be provided to the user. So which means this SaaS gives the capability to use the application that is being supplied by the provider. Okay, here the application provided, whatever the application the cloud provider will provide, that will be accessible from various client devices. So the various client devices can be a thin client, thick client, or a web browser. And in case of SaaS, the user do not have to manage or control the underlying cloud infrastructure such as network, servers, operating system, and storage. And the next service that is being provided is the platform as a service, or PaaS. Okay, in case of PaaS, a platform will be given, a platform will be provided to the user to deploy their applications. Okay, here the PaaS gives the capability to deploy applications by using certain programming languages and tools that are supported by the provider. And in case of PaaS, the user or the developer do not have to manage or control the underlying cloud infrastructure such as network, servers, operating system, and storage. So here what a user has to control, the user only have to control the deployed application. So, and the next service is the IaaS. Okay, in case of IaaS, a user will be provided a root level access or admin access. So, in case of this IaaS, a consumer has control over a operating system, storage, and a deployed application. And in case of this IaaS, the various services are offered. What are the various services means? Server hosting, web servers, and storage. And the one main characteristic of this IaaS is dynamic scaling. So here, as you can see, whenever a user rents this IaaS as a service, then they have access to the virtual machine, okay, where they can install their own operating system, servers, applications, and user will have a feeling. And here, in case of this IaaS, since they will be provided access to the virtual machine, so they will when and they can install their own operating system and their own servers and application. In case of this IaaS, the user will have a feeling that they are given access to this actual physical storage, even though they have not given access to this actual physical storage, but they will have a such feeling as though they are using all the hardware and all the servers that are available in this physical storage. So now we will see. So here it is given the various SaaS consumers can be the members, okay, the members with access to software applications, or the end users who directly use the software application, or the software application administrators. Okay, what is the role of administrator? The role of administrator is to set up and configure the applications for end users. And SaaS consumers can be billed based on the number of end users using a application and the time of usage of the application and the network bandwidth that is being consumed and the amount of data that is stored and the duration of data that is stored. And the various PaaS consumers, okay, who are all the various PaaS consumers? Means the application developers, okay, who design and implement application software, and application testers, okay, who run and test the applications in a cloud based environment. Again, application deployers, okay, deployers, what is the role of deployer? To publish or to deploy a application in the cloud. and and application administrators, okay, who configure and monitor the performance of application on a platform. And again here, PaaS consumers will also be billed according to the processing, database storage, network resources being consumed by a PaaS application, and also the duration of the platform is being utilized by a consumer. And here also the various IaaS consumers can be a system developers, system administrators, and IT managers, okay, who are interested in creating, installing, managing, monitoring services for IT infrastructure operations. Okay, even in case of IaaS, also the billing, okay, the billing will be based on the amount or a duration of the resources that is being consumed. Okay, here the various resources consumed, it can be a CPU, okay, now the number of hours the CPU hours is being utilized by a virtual computer, and the volume or duration of data that is stored, again network bandwidth consumed, again number of IP addresses used for certain intervals. I told you, right, if an user rents IaaS as a service, then he will be given access to the virtual machine, okay, to the virtual machine. So every virtual machine will be given an IP address. Okay, by using that IP address, the user or the IaaS consumer can actually access the system or the servers that are present in the physical layer. So here it is given, okay, a number of activities are required to support all the three delivery models. Okay, whatever we have discussed above, okay, it is also known as delivery models. So a number of activities need to be supported. Okay, a number of activities are required or necessary to support all those three delivery models. What are those? Means service management and provisioning. What is service management? Means services are offered to meet the needs or demands of customer and also to respond to any technical issue. So what is this provisioning? Again, provisioning means setting up a service for a customer, setting up any specific service for a customer. Okay, this includes, okay, the service management and provisioning will include virtualization. Again, call center operation management, system management, QoS management. QoS stands for quality of service. So this QoS ensures the measure of overall performance of a service, such as managing the data traffic so as to reduce the delay or loss of any data. Again, billing, okay, billing has to be managed, accounting and various assets has to be managed. Again, SLA stands for service level agreement. Okay, there must be a written document, okay, where both the cloud provider and cloud consumer should agree upon that written document, and they both have to respect that document, and they both have to follow the rules that are mentioned in that document. Again, some technical support is required, backup, all those things have to be managed. Again, security management, okay, security management which includes authentication, certification, intrusion prevention, intrusion detection, virus protection, again access control. Again, customer services, okay, customer services includes customer assistance. Okay, if a customer has any issue regarding the usage of any particular service, all those issues have to be resolved. Okay, for that there is a online help, okay, which assists the customers how to use a particular application. Again, subscriptions, reporting, customer preferences, and personalization. What is personalization? Meeting the personalization means meeting the customer needs. Okay, we have to meet all customer needs or customer demands effectively and efficiently. Again, integration services. Okay, integration services means lot of services will be combined and delivered it as and delivered. Integration services means many services will be integrated and delivered to the consumer. So since many services are integrated, a lot of data has to be managed, okay, and development. Again, now, so as you can see in this cloud stack, there are three layers. One is service layer, and the resource abstraction and control layer, and the physical resource layer. So you can see this SaaS is built on top of PaaS, and PaaS is built on top of IaaS. And in the middle, we have a resource abstraction and control layer. Okay, what is this layer? We will see now. So here, the middle layer, okay, the middle layer in this model is the resource abstraction and control layer. Okay, this layer contains system components, okay, that cloud provider will use to provide and manage access to physical computing resources. Okay, it contains, okay, this layer contains a various system components, okay, which provides and manages the access to physical computing resources through software abstraction. So the example of this resource abstraction is software elements, okay, the various software elements such as hypervisors, virtual machines, virtual data storage, and other computing resource abstraction. Okay, the main component in this middle layer is the virtualization. Okay, see here it is given. Virtualization machine technology is commonly used at this layer. Again, there is a control aspect, yes, right? What is that control aspect means it refers to the software components that are responsible for resource allocation, access control, and usage monitoring. And this is a software fabric that ties together the numerous underlying physical resources and their software abstractions. Okay, this middle layer will enable resource pooling, dynamic allocation, and measured service. Okay, these three are the main characteristic of the cloud computing. Okay, all these three are possible with the help of this software fabric. Okay, that is, all these three services are possible with the help of this resource abstraction layer. And the bottom layer, okay, bottom layer, that is the lowest layer in this stack, is the physical resource layer, which includes all physical computing resources. Okay, what are the computing resources it will include means CPU, memory, network. Okay, network as various components, routers, firewalls, switches, network links and interfaces. Again, storage component, hard disks, and other physical computing infrastructure elements. Okay, this bottom layer, that is a physical layer, also include facility resources such as heating, ventilation, air conditioning, power, communication, and other aspects of the physical plant.